found $25,000 in the subway and returned the money. When I found out what it was for, my blood ran cold. Hi Reddit, this is my first post here, and I'm in complete shock over what happened. I'm writing from New York because the events are unfolding right here, in this crazy city where every day is a lottery. I'm a regular guy, 28 years old. I work in an office in Manhattan, doing marketing for a small firm. The salary is okay, but not enough to live lavishly. Rent eats up half of it, and the rest goes to food, transport, and little joys in life. I'm not complaining, but dreams of a big score sometimes visit me, like in those movies, No Country for Old Men or A Simple Plan, where regular people find money and everything goes to hell. So yesterday evening after work, I got on the F train heading home to Brooklyn. The car was half empty, a typical evening time when everyone is tired, looking at their phones or dozing off. I was sitting by the doors, listening to a podcast about motivation, the irony, right? And suddenly I noticed an elderly man, in a suit but with a tired look, hastily getting off at the Union Square station. He must have forgotten his bag, well, not a bag, but a classic leather briefcase like the ones businessmen have with metal locks. It was under the seat where he was sitting, and no one paid any attention. At first I thought, maybe it's trash or something unimportant, but when the car started moving, I picked it up to see if there was anything inside that could identify the owner. Damn Reddit, you won't believe what was inside. I opened it, the locks weren't closed, and there was a pile of money. Not just a few bills, but stacks of $100 bills, neatly tied with rubber bands. I didn't count it right away because my heart was pounding like a drum, but visually, somewhere around $20,000–$30,000, maybe more. Next to it were personal items, a wallet with credit cards, a driver's license in the name of some John Smith. The name is made up because I don't want to disclose real details. But there was a photo, an address in New Jersey, car keys, a notebook with notes, something about meetings, business plans, looks like work records, a pair of glasses in a case, and even a small photograph, old, wrinkled, with a family on it, probably. There was also a mobile phone, but it was turned off, out of charge. I sat there in the car and felt the adrenaline flooding me. It's just like in the movies. Imagine you're a regular dude, struggling with bills, dreaming of a vacation or a new gadget, and suddenly, bam, fate throws you this briefcase. My thoughts were spinning. This is a find. According to the law, if no one claims it, it could become mine. I could pay off debts, help my parents there in another state. I sometimes send them money, or even invest in something. No one saw me take it. There are cameras in the subway, but who's going to check? But then my conscience started gnawing at me. What if this is someone's savings? The person is probably in a panic right now. There's an ID, I could easily find the owner. What if this is money for something important, like education, or just for living? I got off at my station, took the briefcase home. I live alone in a small apartment, and didn't sleep all night. I laid everything out on the table. The money, exactly $25,000 I counted, couldn't help it. The items looked genuine, not counterfeit. I Googled what to do with found items. In New York, there's a lost property law where you have to turn it into the police if the amount is large, but they hold it for 3 months, and if no one picks it up, it's yours. But the police, who knows, something might get lost there, or the owner might not report it because the money is dirty. On the other hand, with the ID, I could contact him myself. There's an address, a name, maybe through social media or something. Now the dilemma, to return it or not. On one hand, it's a dream, a sudden gift from the universe. I'm not a thief, but this is found, not stolen. On the other, karma, morality, all that. I imagine that man now, desperately looking for his briefcase. Maybe it's his salary or for his retirement. And if I keep it, how to live with it, constantly looking over my shoulder. Or, on the contrary, use it for good, help shelters or something. Reddit, what would you do? AITA if I'm considering keeping it. Or should I return it immediately? Give me advice because I'm in a fog. Has anyone had similar stories? How did it end? Thanks in advance because this really fell on me like in a movie, and I don't know what to do. TLDR, found a briefcase with $25,000 and personal items on the subway. Dilemma, return to the owner or not, looking for advice. Update 1. Wow Reddit, you just saved me from a mistake. Thanks to everyone who responded to my post. I didn't expect such a flood of comments, over 200 overnight. I read everything, from stories about karma coming back like a boomerang. One dude told how he found a wallet with $500, returned it, and a week later won the lottery. To harsh realities, someone wrote that the money could be from crime, and if you keep it, you could get in trouble with the law or the mafia, like in the movies. Many said I'm in TA, not the asshole, for considering keeping it because life is hard, but the majority advised returning it. Because of conscience, morality, and in New York, there are laws about lost property, where if you turn it into the police and the owner doesn't show up, then after 3 months the money is legally yours. But someone warned that the police might lose part of it, and it's better to look for the owner yourself. I didn't sleep for another night, rereading your advice. One comment particularly struck me. A guy wrote that he found a bag with 10K, returned it, and the owner turned out to be a veteran who was collecting for treatment. And it changed his life because now they are friends and he feels like a hero. I thought, what if I have something similar? I don't want to live with a feeling of guilt, as if I stole someone's life. On the other hand, the temptation was insane. I imagined paying for a new apartment, helping my parents, they are in Ukraine, where it's tough now with the war and every penny counts, or even starting my own business. But your words about honesty is the best investment one. I decided to return the briefcase, not through the police because I'm afraid of bureaucracy, but directly. So using the ID from the driver's license, name John Smith, address in New Jersey, photo, a gray-haired man about 60 years old, looks like an office worker, I started searching. First, I googled the name plus address, nothing specific, because John Smith is like Ivan Ivanov for us, a million of them. But in the wallet, there was a credit card from a bank, and in the notebook, notes about meetings with company names. I found a LinkedIn profile, bingo. There was John Smith, working for a small real estate firm in Jersey City, the photo matched. I wrote him a message through LinkedIn, didn't call because the phone in the briefcase was off, and I didn't want to scare him. I said, "Hi, I found your briefcase on the subway at Union Square yesterday evening. I have all the items, including the money. I want to return it." My heart was pounding when I sent it. What if he thinks it's a scam? Or if the money isn't his, but someone else's? He replied in an hour, "Oh my God, is that you? I've been in a panic since yesterday, thought everything was lost. Thank you for writing. Where can we meet?" We agreed to meet today during the day at a cafe in Manhattan, a neutral place. I'm nervous, like before a date. What if he doesn't show up, or shows up with cops, or offers a reward? Although I'm not returning it for that. I'll take a friend with me for safety because 25K is no joke. If everything goes smoothly, I'll tell you in the next update. Thanks again, Reddit. Without you, I probably would have kept it and been tormented. You're awesome. TLDR, following your advice, decided to return the briefcase, found the owner via LinkedIn, arranged a meeting for today. Keep your fingers crossed. Update 2. Wow, Reddit, it was like in a movie, a mix of a thriller, drama, and a feel-good story. First of all, thanks for the new comments under Update 1. Many advise to be careful, take a friend, meet in a public place, not show the money right away. I did everything. Chose a Starbucks in Times Square, lots of people, cameras everywhere. Took a colleague from work with me, he's in the loop because I told him for support. I arrived early, sat with the briefcase under the table, drank coffee and was nervous. My hands were shaking, thoughts. What if it's a trap? Or if he says there was more money and accuses me? John showed up right on time. I recognized him from the photo. Gray-haired in a suit, but with tired eyes as if he hadn't slept for a couple of days. He sat down opposite me, thanked me immediately, his voice trembling. I showed the ID and items to confirm it was his, then handed over the briefcase. He opened it, checked the money, didn't count it, but visually everything was there, and started crying. I'm not joking, a grown man about 65, tears streaming down. I was taken aback, said, "It's all good, glad to help." He wiped his eyes, ordered us more coffee, and started talking. It turns out he's not just a businessman, he's a grandfather, and this money, well, not just savings. He had been collecting it for months, selling some things because his family is in trouble. "It's not for me," he said, "it's for my granddaughter. She's little, 8 years old, and has a rare disease, didn't specify what, but something with the heart or oncology, because he talked about an expensive operation abroad. The money was for the first installment for treatment in Europe, because in the US, insurance doesn't cover everything, and time is pressing. The operation is scheduled for next month." I sat and listened, and my heart was tightening. He told me how yesterday in the subway he was stressed after a meeting with doctors, thinking about his granddaughter, and just forgot the briefcase. I thought it was the end, because without this money we wouldn't make it in time. We talked for an hour about life in New York, how the city is cruel but there are good people, about my job. He didn't offer a reward immediately, said money is tight, but invited me to dinner with the family sometime. I refused any money because after his story I felt it would be wrong, but we exchanged numbers and he said, "You saved not just money but a life." I went home with empty pockets but with a full heart, as if a weight had been lifted. But this isn't the end yet, because he hinted that he wants to do something for me, and we agreed to meet again with his family. Waiting for developments, we'll tell in the next update. Reddit, you were right. Honesty pays off, not always with money, but with something bigger. TLDR, met the owner, returned the briefcase, found out the money was for his granddaughter's treatment. Became friends, waiting for the continuation. Update 3. Hello again, Reddit. I didn't think this story would stretch on for so long, but life writes better scripts than Hollywood. Thanks for all the new comments under the previous update. You're writing about similar stories, advising how to behave with new friends, and even warning about possible scams, like, what if it's all a setup? I appreciate your caution because in New York, you really need to be vigilant. After the meeting at Starbucks, I went home with a feeling of relief, but also with a bunch of thoughts. What's next? Is this the end or the beginning of something? John called me the next day, thanked me again, and invited me to dinner with his family in New Jersey. I hesitated at first because who am I, a stranger from the subway? But he insisted. You didn't just return the briefcase, you gave us hope. Come, you'll meet my granddaughter, Emmy. I agreed because curiosity won, and I thought, maybe this is a chance to see how my action affected real people. So yesterday evening, I took the PATH train to Jersey City. For those who don't know, it's like a subway, but between states. Took a bottle of wine as a gift, nothing expensive, just decent Cabernet from the supermarket. John's house is a modest townhouse in a quiet neighborhood, not luxurious but cozy. A small garden in front, kids' toys on the lawn. He met me at the door, hugged me like an old friend, and introduced the family. His wife Mary, a sweet woman in her 60s, bakes the best cookies as it turned out. His daughter Sarah, Emmy's mom, about 35, looks tired but smiling, and Emmy herself, a little girl with big eyes in unicorn pajamas. She was playing with dolls on the floor, and John told me she hasn't been very active lately because of her illness, something with her immune system, a rare genetic disease that requires special therapy in Switzerland. The money from the briefcase was part of the collection. They sold their old car, took a loan, and John was taking that $25K to a meeting with a help fund, but forgot it on the subway due to stress. Dinner was simple spaghetti with sauce, salad, homemade bread, but the conversations, damn Reddit, it was deep. Sarah told how they are struggling with medical bills. Insurance covers part but not all, and in the US the healthcare system is a lottery where the poor lose. Emmy came up to me, showed me a drawing, some castle with princesses, and said, "Thank you for finding Grandpa's bag. Now I'll go to the wizards who will cure me." I almost cried. Imagine, a child doesn't know all the details but understands that something important happened. John shared his story. He's an immigrant from Ireland, worked all his life in real estate, but the 2008 crisis hit his business, and now they are barely making ends meet. You can't imagine what it's like to lose everything in an instant, he said, but people like you remind us that the world isn't so bad. We talked about my family in Ukraine, about the war there. They follow the news, sympathize, and I felt a connection, like an unexpected friendship with people I would never have met otherwise. But here's the intrigue. At the end of the evening, John said he wants to thank me for real. Not with money because there's no extra, but with something else. He hinted at a surprise related to his work in real estate and asked me to wait a week or two. I didn't press because that's not why I did it, but now I'm curious, what could it be? Maybe investment advice or something, or just words. I went home on the last train, and the whole way I thought, honesty isn't about reward, but fate sometimes returns kindness. If there's a continuation, I'll tell you. Reddit, your advice helped me not only return the briefcase, but also open a door to something warm in this cold city. TLDR, went to dinner at John's family, met granddaughter Emmy, heard more about their struggle with the illness, felt a real connection. John promises a surprise as thanks, waiting for developments. Update 4, final update. Last update Reddit, and probably the most emotional one. Sorry for the delay, but the past week has been insane. Work, calls from John, and a lot of reflection. First, thanks for the comments under Update 3. Many wrote that it's inspiring, others advised not to expect anything material because the real reward is in the heart. You were right, but let me tell you everything in order. John called a week after the dinner. Come over on Saturday, there's something for you. I went to Jersey City again, this time with flowers for Mary. She loves roses, as it turned out. The family welcomed me warmly. Emmy drew another picture, this time of me as the subway hero with a briefcase in my hands. We had some tea, and John got down to business. He told me that after returning the briefcase, they were able to make the payment for the operation. Emmy is flying to Switzerland in 2 weeks. The doctors say the chances are high because it's timely. Without your honesty, John said, we would have lost time and it could have ended badly. Then he took out an envelope, not money, but a letter from a foundation helping sick children. Turns out John told them my story anonymously but with details, and the foundation invited me to become a volunteer to help with fundraising, share my experience. But that's not all. As a thank you, they sent a Hero of the Month certificate and a small statuette symbolic, but with the inscription for honesty that saves lives. Sarah added, you didn't just return the money, you gave Emmy a chance at a normal childhood. She now says she wants to become a doctor like those wizards. I sat there holding that certificate and understood, no $25K can compare to this. Imagine me, a regular marketer from Brooklyn, barely making ends meet, suddenly felt that I had done something truly important. Not about money, not about fame, but about the fact that my honesty saved a child. Emmy hugged me and said, thank you for being a kind uncle. We exchanged photos, with permission of course, and now we're in touch. John promises to send updates about the operation. I returned to New York with empty pockets but with a full heart. This story taught me. In a modern city where everyone is in a hurry and only thinks about themselves, honesty can create unexpected friendship and give an understanding that the best reward is knowing you saved someone's life. Reddit, without your advice, I probably would have kept the briefcase for myself and missed all of this. Thank you, you are part of this story. TLDR, John thanked me not with money, but with recognition from a foundation and an invitation to volunteer. Understood that I saved Emmy's life, and that's the best reward. The story ended with an unexpected friendship and a moral lesson. What are your thoughts on this story? Did the author do the right thing? What would you have done in his shoes? Share your opinion in the comments. And if you enjoy this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't want to miss new stories.